Hey James, I'm on my last tub now. Only a bit left in my seven tubs, so nearly finished. But I found out my gut issues are still the same. Um, I'd say if I eat vegetables and stuff, I have a lot of wind and stinky wind. And I was going to the toilet two times a day, now only once again, now once a day again, since cutting back down to the one serving. I've gained more firmness and not as loose and my toenail fungus has improved but not completely gone. So, yeah, there's a lot to unpack there, James. Obviously, you did a consultation call with me, so I know a lot more about your background, and obviously, you've asked a lot of questions previously, so I pretty much know most of what's going on with you. So, let me put the pieces of the puzzle together. So yeah, you say if you eat vegetables and stuff, you have a lot of wind and stinky wind. So that shows whatever veg that you're eating, in that combination of vegetables, you're obviously intolerant to. So, like I said in the call, if you're getting a bad reaction to food that you're eating, don't eat that food. Um, so yeah, if you're getting a lot of wind and stinky wind from a certain types of food and vegetables, obviously it's very likely that that's a food intolerance, and it's feeding the infections. So yeah, obviously that stuff is what I would be cutting out for sure. Um, and then going to the toilet twice a day now, only once a day now. You cut that down to one serving. Gain more firmness and not as loose. And toenails improved but not totally gone. So toenail fungus has improved but not completely gone. Um, yeah, like James, like I said before, you can actually get constipated from eating too much. If you're not separating like your eating and your hydration and stuff, like if you think about it this way, your stomach has to digest the food, then it goes down to your intestines, and then it starts going through your intestines. And they say you're supposed to have about 3 hours between every meal to allow that food to go through your intestines. And obviously, with you like bodybuilding and eating a lot of meals and stuff, I don't think you're getting that 3 hours between meals because basically, when you're eating food, the food goes down, like I said, into the intestines and then works its way along. If you're eating food again within that 3 hours, you're just adding food to the intestines and it's not giving it chance to do something called an intestinal sweep. When you're separating your food by like 3 to 4 hours, is what they recommend. Um, with that gap in between your meals, it gives your intestines chance to be empty. So then what they do something called an intestinal sweep. So they just contract along and then clear themselves. So if you're like bodybuilding and getting a lot of calories in, you can actually be creating constipation in yourself. So I think that's probably what's going on there, mate. Um, and yeah, like with you saying, eating a lot of vegetables and stuff, and that is creating like vegetables and stuff. I don't know what the and stuff is, but yeah, them vegetables that are giving you a lot of wind and stinky wind, that's a very clear symptom of a food intolerance or yeah, a reaction to a food that you don't want to be having when you're cleansing. So, like I said, when we're cleansing with the Qenda, um, the Quenda's killing off the infections, healing the body, and stuff like that. But we want to ensure that we're not feeding the infections and growing them at the same time. Like you said, you've seen a reduction in toenail fungus, but it hasn't totally gone. And I think it's your diet and lifestyle that's creating that. You've got to make sure you're doing the fundamentals right as well. So, um, like I said, having like 3 to 4 hours between your meals and then just having bigger meals rather than having lots, like rather than having 4 or 5 meals a day, is a better way of doing it for sure. Otherwise, it can actually create the constipation. Um, yeah, although it's good for bodybuilding, a lot of bodybuilders or nearly every bodybuilder I know that's got has got digestive issues. They say it's just sort of part and parcel of it. So um, yeah, what's good habits for bodybuilding is not good habits for digestion, basically. So, like I said before, if you can get it down to 3 meals and space your time your meals a lot better, that would definitely help. And then obviously cut out the foods that you're intolerant to. Obviously, you didn't want to do an expensive food intolerance test at like 700 quid. But yeah, like I said, you can see from the reaction in your body what's going on. So yeah, sounds like that's what's going on.